Good day, everyone. Welcome to our Social Studies virtual class, grade 9A and B. This is your teacher here, Miss Michelle Joy. This video will serve as a makeup recap class, especially for the students who weren't able to join us in our Google Meet virtual class. Class, let's have a short recap of the last topics that we have discussed last week, which is about Valentine's Day, Saint Valentine's Day. Saint Valentine's Day or Valentine's Day is celebrated every year on 14 February. It is the day when people show their love for another person or people by sending cards, flowers, or chocolates with messages of love. The second topic that we have discussed is about Ramadan. What is Ramadan? Ramadan is the month in which Muslims all around the world fast for 30 days from dawn to dusk. Fasting is the fourth pillar of Islamic faith. The fast is an act of deep personal worship to get closer to Allah or God Almighty. It is the month in which the Holy Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. So these were the two topics that we have discussed last week. Class, the objectives of the lesson of today are the following. Number one, students must be able to know what market is. Number two, students must be able to know what demand is. And number three, students must be able to know what supply is. So I expect that at the end of our lesson today, you already know what market, demand, and supply is. Class, let us proceed with our discussion, and these are the topics that we are going to learn today. Letter A is market, and letter B, demand and supply. These are the words to learn that can help us better understand our topic for today. Please repeat after me so you can still practice your reading skills and speaking skills even if you're just at home. Are you ready now? Let's start reading. Number one, market. Number two, demand. Number three, supply. Number four, consumer. And number five, producer. Now let's discuss these five words one by one. What is a market? A market is a process and it exists when a group of buyers and sellers communicate to exchange goods and services. A market can exist in one place or in several places. It can also be virtual. So class, a market is a place where buyers and sellers meet. It's not only a place where you see the seller or when consumer and seller see each other, but also a market is done virtually or it can be done through online shopping. The second word is demand. Demand means the desire to own something and the ability to pay for it. When we talk about demand, we are referring to the activities of the consumer. The third word is supply. Supply means the quantity of a product that producers are willing and able to provide at different market prices over a period of time. It is what they provide from scarce resources available. Through supply, producers are aiming to meet the unlimited wants of consumer. Next, the fourth word is consumer. Who is a consumer? A person who has indicated his or her willingness to obtain goods and or services from a supplier with the intention of paying for them. So class consumer is of course the person who is paying the seller or the person who offered them services. Next, the last word, we have producer. What is a producer? It is a person who uses resources to make goods and provide services. So these are the five words that can help us better understand our topic for today.
What is a market? A market is any place where makers, distributors, or retailers sell and consumers buy. In this context, the word market means marketplace. People buy and sell things in shops, high streets, exchanges, street markets, or websites. The term may also refer to the whole group of buyers for a good or service. For example, the market for sports cars is quiet this year. Businesses that operate in markets are usually in competition with other companies. The other companies or rivals offer similar goods or services. When the press or TV reporters talk about markets plummeting or going through the roof, they are usually referring to the price of shares, commodities, or other derivatives. For example, the headline, "US markets suffer biggest one-day loss in almost 4 years," refers to Wall Street, i.e., US stock markets. One of the keys to business success is to first define your target market, something many companies fail to do. Too many businesses put together a marketing plan hastily. They do so without first defining what exactly their target market is. It is a bit like the person who is putting together a jigsaw puzzle in a hurry. They do not first check the picture on the box. They think they are assembling the pieces of the Eiffel Tower, but it is the Empire State Building. Before deciding how you are going to get to those potential customers, you must first define your target market. In economics, the term market forces refers to the forces of supply and demand. They are the factors that influence the price and availability of goods and services in a market economy, i.e., an economy with the minimum of government involvement. Market forces push up prices when supply declines and demand rises, and drive them down when supply grows or demand contracts. When demand equals supply for a product or service, the market is said to have reached equilibrium. Thank you for watching this Market Business News video on markets.
Now, class, let us read and discuss what is a market. Please open your social studies book on page 58 so you can highlight the important words that I have highlighted. The word market doesn't refer to only a fresh market, bookshop, department store, or other stores. It can be any place where buyers and sellers meet. It represents the freely chosen actions between the two parties of goods and services. So class, in this topic, we will be able to know other places where market exists. Class, let us discuss the 4 things where market could happen. The first one is stores. Any place where people sell and buy food, clothing, or other items in a market like Top Supermarket, Tesco, Lotus, Macro, or even Big C. The second one is services. Any activity that one person performs for another for a fee, especially if you can't do it on your own. Next, class number 3, internet shopping, has created a huge virtual market home to millions of buyers and sellers. Example, Lazada, Shopee, Amazon, eBay, and a lot of people is using online shopping class, and a lot of people is doing their business through internet, especially now because of the pandemic. And the last one, we have entertainment. When people pay for entertainment like movies and concert, they are participating in a market like Netflix. Okay, you pay for your Netflix subscription every month, so that is because of entertainment. So you are participating in a market. Now, class, let us study about demand. Please open your social studies book on page 59. Consumers have a great deal of influence on the prices of all goods and services. People in the marketplace decide what to buy and at what price. This is known as demand. So I told you already, class, demand is the ability to pay for something that you want. Demand is the desire to have a good or service and the ability to pay for it. And the law of demand tells us that as price goes up, quantity demanded goes down because, of course, who would buy a product that is very expensive? And as price goes down, quantity demanded goes up because a lot of people will buy that certain product. Now, class, Let us study what is supply. Please open your social studies book on page 61 and highlight the words that you have seen highlighted. So, supply. The amount of goods and services available for sale in a given period of time and place. So, supply class is, of course, the number of products that you are able to produce. Not only products or goods, but also services. Profit incentive. Profit incentive is one of the factors that motivate people in a market economy because, of course, they want to gain money. And law of supply tells us that as price goes up, quantity supplied goes up because, of course, when suppliers were able to gain a lot of profit, they can produce more products. But as price goes down, quantity supplied goes down because, of course, if they don't have a lot of profit, they cannot produce a lot of products. Now, class, let us discuss demand versus supply. Please open your social studies book on page 63 and highlight the ones that you can see highlighted. In a market, demand and supply work together. As the price of a good goes down, the quantity demanded rises and the quantity supplied falls. As the price goes up, the quantity demanded falls and the quantity supplied rises. So there is always a connection between demand and supply. Now, equilibrium price. It is a price at which the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied meet. One way to visualize equilibrium price is to put the supply and demand curves on one graph, like what we have here on the left side, where the two curves, curve of supply and curve of demand, intersect. So that is what you call equilibrium price. Okay, class. So for the summary of the topics, we have discussed first about market, composed of buyers and sellers, and of course, a place where they meet together. The second topic that we have discussed is about demand. It is the different quantities of goods that consumers are willing and able to buy at different prices. And the last one is supply. Supply is the quantity of a product that producers are willing and able to provide at different market prices over a period of time. So class, it's time for me to give you activity. Just click the link in the Google Classroom to answer the activity. Of course, it's live worksheets. So this time class, we have this one. As you can see, there are words in the boxes, but you have to play this button here because it's a video about supply and demand. And you just drag the word into the box, okay, to complete the sentence. Now, after you finish answering, you click finish, click check my answers. Your scores will appear and screenshot that one and upload in social studies album in your class line group. Good luck, everyone. If you have any questions, suggestions, comments, ideas that you want to share in our class, that you are not you cannot tell me when we are having our class virtually, you can always send me a message in my personal line account because I will get back to you as soon as I can. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.